Keep watching. First up, Zuckerberg's training footage goes viral. Recently, footage of Zuckerberg training for MMA started going viral. In the video, we saw the CEO working with his training partner Kai Wu. And as most things the 38-year-old does, this one also had a lot of conspiracy theories attached to it. This time, sports conspiracy theorists had their fun and were able to come up with their explanations. According to UFC Vegas 61 headliner Mackenzie Dern, Mark was the reason the public had been barred from the Apex building. According to Dern, the Harvard dropout had rented the entire building to pursue his training. She informed ESPN that Zuckerberg was the reason for the Apex blackout and that she didn't know for sure whether the Meta CEO was playing the rich man's card and getting his event, but Dern did state that it would be very, very private. Following that up, Dana White responds. Immediately, the shocking claims by the number 5 ranked starweight champion started making rounds on the internet. The situation started getting so out of hand that Dana White had to step in. He took to Twitter and tweeted that Zuckerberg never rented out the UFC Apex and that it was total bull. However, this rumor came forward because the UFC Apex Center had been shut down the weekend that Mark was allegedly training there, and neither fans nor the MMA media were allowed to visit the place. This was suspicious because for the first time, the event was closed off to the public, which led to many people coming up with their theories, one of which was the Zuckerberg one. Next up, what's the reason for the Apex blackout? But if the Apex hadn't been shut down because of Zuckerberg, then what was the reason? White was forced to answer, and to reporters' surprise, White told them that he had generously decided to give his beloved MMA media the day off. The UFC had noted that reporters had recently been working twice a week, on Tuesdays for the Contender Series and then for the UFC cards on weekends. A reporter replied that he didn't mind working on this specific weekend since there wasn't going to be a UFC card on the next one. However, White insisted that the reporters and fans should sit at home this weekend and order a pizza and just enjoy themselves. Next, Zuckerberg spotted at a UFC event. Despite White's claims that he had just given the weekend off for the reporters and fans to rest, many people were just not buying it, and for the right reason. Presumably, the Facebook CEO was spotted at the UFC Apex alongside his wife. Zuckerberg was spotted during the UFC Vegas 61's prelims undercard in a picture that started going viral immediately. While the billionaire looked like he was having the time of his life, his wife looked the exact opposite. Later on, Zuck took to Instagram to post a picture backstage with Dern and thanked White for inviting him to watch the fights live in the caption. Then, conspiracies about Mark's presence at the Apex. As we mentioned earlier, the billionaire's every move ends up in people making conspiracy theories about him. One of the most popular theories was that this was an attempt at making a promotional event, showing off some VR technology that will tie into his company's approach to creating the metaverse. This could be true because Mark recently released a promotional video for his company's upcoming VR headset demonstrating a VR version of the Olympic rapier. Another theory was proposed by UFC Fight Pass announcer Christopher James, who claimed that Zuckerberg didn't book the Apex to enjoy a private screening of the UFC fights, but to test out the next Meta smart glasses. He stated on Twitter that with these glasses, you would be able to watch the fights from home and feel like you were in the Apex. As the details followed, Zuckerberg and his team were reportedly experimenting with their own augmented reality glasses, with the UFC Vegas 61 being the testing ground. This could very well be true, since Zuckerberg mentioned in Rogan's podcast episode that Meta was collaborating with Ray-Ban to produce smart glasses. However, the podcaster challenged the billionaire, saying that the product could cause potential privacy issues. The social media magnate replied that the public should rest assured that the glasses will come with safety features. Wrapping up, Mark talks about his new interest in MMA at the Joe Rogan Experience. Zuckerberg recently expressed his new interest in MMA fights on Joe Rogan's podcast and said he was surprised that he never gotten into it. For 3 hours, he talked to Rogan about VR and the government and about finding his way into martial arts during the COVID-19 pandemic. He claimed that he had invested in surfing and foiling and that he had gotten into MMA. He stated the connection between surfers and people who do jiu-jitsu. He stated that after he had collected references from friends and colleagues, the tech mogul found a way to BJJ Judo black belt Dave Carmilio's gym called Guerrilla Jiu-Jitsu. He also talked about how his mother made him do 3 varsity sports and chose to fence over wrestling in high school. He concluded by saying that he has friends who train and wrestle together, which he has enjoyed a lot lately. First up, Dana White shows his transformed figure. The 51-year-old UFC head recently posted a picture of himself on Instagram showing off his six-pack abs, which caught everyone's attention. White's physical progress came after a conversation with a doctor who gave him 10 years to live. White explained that his triglycerides were 764 when they should be between 80 and 150. He then worked for 10 weeks and brought about the change we now witness. After a drastic lifestyle change, which likely lessens his Friday specials, White stated he'd seen a massive improvement. He stated that he didn't snore anymore, no more sleep apnea, all in 10 weeks. However, according to UFC middleweight contender Paulo Costa, White's new physique is all thanks to his secret juice. He explained that he mixed in a lot of ingredients that helped Dana. When asked about the ingredients, he stated that it wouldn't be a secret secret if he revealed them. Next up, Dana White snaps at Nelk boy Bob Menery. The Canadian-American-based YouTube group called the Nelk Boys Group had partnered with UFC and developed a close relationship with White. But now it looks like the UFC boss is caught up in a financial dispute between Forgard and Menery. Previously working together on the Full Send podcast, Menery claims he was ousted from the show once it started to take off and became financially successful. Recently, Menery shared a montage of guests that had appeared on the podcast and forged himself praising him. Dana was included in the montage, which did not sit well with the UFC boss. Taken to Instagram, White told Menery to keep him out of his crybaby BS while revealing that he gave Menery $50,000. In Menery's video detailing his side of the situation, he claimed that he was promised multiple things that never fell through and also claimed that his name was dragged through the mud, as rumors were spread that he was responsible for setting up George Masvidal's attack on Colby outside of a Miami steakhouse in March. Finally, Dana White's reaction to Daniel Cormier working with WWE. Former UFC heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier revealed that he will be stepping inside the fight pit as the special guest referee for the fight between Seth Rollins and Matty Riddle. An interview with ESPN MMA revealed UFC President Dana White's reaction to him working with WWE. He said that he called Dana immediately and that White was very supportive of his decision to go to the WWE. He stated that everyone in the UFC was all there for him and all of them were excited about his shift. Cormier is not the first UFC fighter to collaborate with WWE, as many have gotten involved in the past. Brock Lesnar and Ronda Rousey held championships in UFC and have won multiple titles since making their way to WWE following their MMA careers. Riddle has experience inside the octagon, along with being in one of the few fight pit matches in WWE history. Losing his battle with Timothy Thatcher in NXT, Riddle and Rollins' feud with one another has only escalated in recent months, with their last match taking place at Clash at the Castle. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about Dana White calling Mark Zuckerberg rumors total BS? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.